All right, so if I'm looking at this, and I'm sorry about the warm-up not being in the slideshow, I don't think yesterday I tried to put it in, but I don't think it stayed there. So there was this composite shape, and so when I have composite shapes, I want to kind of break them down into the parts that kind of work. And so if I'm looking at this, I can make it into a square on the top here, and then on the bottom, this would be a trapezoid. Okay, for the square on the top, it's 4 by 4. And so square is just going to be, I take the side, I square it, and that'll be equal to the area. Or I'm going to take 4 squared, and that'll be equal to the area. Or the area of this top portion of this composite shape would be 16 units squared. Okay. Now, if it is in fact a square, then this side right here is also going to be 4. Okay. Now that I have that as being 4, and I know that this part's 4, I also know that the height here is 4. So this bottom is a trapezoid. The area for a trapezoid is going to be 1/2, and I take base 1 plus base 2, and I multiply that whole thing by the height. And we've talked about how if I take a trapezoid and I have the same trapezoid, and I put them next to each other, flip them around, I make it into a rectangle. And what we're doing then is we're figuring out the long base and the short base together times the height equals the area of 2 trapezoids. But we only want one of them, so we multiply it by 1/2. So again, I take 1/2 of base 1 plus base 2 times the height, which is going to be 1/2 times 6 times 4. Half of 6 is 3, so it would be 3 times 4, or this bottom part would be an area of 12 units squared. My last thing that I have left to do is I need to take the square, the 16 units. I need to add the 12 units. When I add those two together, I'm going to get 28 units squared for the whole thing. And so that is the area of this composite shape. Try to find the area of the separate parts, and I add them together. We've practiced finding the area of trapezoids, which is a tricky thing, but we learned it near the beginning of the year, and we've reviewed how to find the area of some of the other shapes.